forensic analyst for the Houston Forensic Science Center, is at the center now of a legal saga.
After nearly 400 cases were flagged for forensic failures, and there's one big case in particular affected by this. KPRC2's TJ Parker outside the Forensic Science Center. TJ, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, so court documents show that forensic analyst, who has since been fired, as you had mentioned, was not doing their job properly, leading to an impacted cases of 392 some cases. As a result, Brady notices were sent out, which is something the prosecutor sends out, letting defense attorneys know that there is something that might show a client is not guilty. One big case in particular involves the 2022 murder of Migos rapper Takeoff, and the man accused of killing him, Patrick Clark. The Harris County DA's office informed Patrick Clark's attorney about the forensic analyst's termination last month for their, quote, lack of quality of work. And the filing states the analyst was considered a witness in the Takeoff murder, which happened at a Houston bowling alley downtown back in November 2022. So we've been reporting on issues here at the Houston Forensic Science Center involving backlogs. It's something that we have been investigating and will continue to investigate as this goes on. As for the Takeoff murder, Clark was indicted back in 2023. Reporting live at the Med Center this morning, I'm TJ Parker, KPRC 2 News.
That directly affects Takeoff's case. So much that when I show y'all what I'm about to show y'all gonna think we living in a Twilight Zone. Let's go. So as y'all can see, this came out yesterday on the 29th, but we're just getting our hands on it. It is what it is. Defendant's motion for order authorizing transport and independent examination of evidence. It goes about this. Anthony Osso, attorney of record for defendant Patrick Xavier Clark, and files this motion for order authorizing transport and independent examination of evidence. In support of this motion, the defendant would show the following. Among the physical evidence collected in the investigation are 8 fired 40 S&W cartridge cases identified in Houston Forensic Science Center, laboratory report 0004. Then it goes on to say, currently in the custody of Houston Police Department property. Defendant intends to have the evidence independently examined by defendant's expert, April Kendrick, of the Southwest Institute of Forensic Sciences in order to prepare for trial. To ensure the integrity of the evidence and an unbroken chain of custody, defendant proposes that Brandon Bess, a licensed investigator retained by the defense, personally take custody of the evidence from Houston Police Department property and personally transport the evidence directly to the Southwest Institute of Forensic Sciences for examination, and thereafter personally return the evidence to Houston Police Department property upon completion of the examination. Defendant respectfully requests that the court enter an order. A. Ordering Houston Police Department property to release the evidence to Brandon Bess, defense investigator for the limited purpose of transport to and from the Southwest Institute of Forensic Sciences, directing that Mr. Bess personally transport the evidence directly to and from the Southwest Institute of Forensic Sciences without intermediate transfer to any other person, requiring, let me make this bigger. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, requiring that a written chain of custody law be maintained documenting the date, time, and condition of the evidence at each point of transfer, requiring that the evidence be returned to Houston Police Department upon completion of testing, and granting such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Wherefore, premises considered, the defendant requests that this court grant this motion for order authorizing transport and independent examination of evidence. Then it talks about who submitted it, Anthony Osso. And he got all his shit right here, then the certificate of service. I certify that a true and correct copy of the above foregoing was filed via e-file, Texas, on date today, well, yesterday technically, and that a true and correct copy was forwarded to counsel for the state via email date. And he goes on right there. And it gives the order for the judge to sign. So this would be when the judge would sign it. So he'll say, the court on the blank whatever day of 2026, and the court, after considering the same as the opinion that said motion should be granted, it is therefore ordered that Houston Police Department shall release the goddamn 8 fired shell cases, basically. And then that's what it would look like when the judge signed it. You'll have signatures and all that stuff, and the date, and then the judge's number and all that shit. So let's get back into it. Whoa, that's that QR code, man. Y'all know what that is, man. They said no more 5. Nah, double that, double that, double that, double that. Put 10 to win. Thursday, swerve day, you feel me? Free cash, Seti Nash, man. They said 10 in your account. Soon as you install it up on your phone and start playing today. Y'all know what free cash do, right? All right, we ain't got to discuss that. Go ahead and don't be an Adrian Broner, man. Don't be a hater, man. Do your thing, man. Start playing games and figure out how you can win and spin on this Thursday. I'll catch y'all with this content. Remember when I told y'all we living in the Twilight Zone? So if you hear that dun 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 dun, yeah, because pay attention to the name of the attorney that wrote this, because he popped up before. Way before he was the attorney for Patrick Xavier Clark. Y'all like, nah, that's not true, Nash. There's no effing way that can be true. Yeah, it's very true. Roll it.
Flag for forensic failures, leaving a former forensic analyst from the Houston Forensic Science Center in legal trouble.
That's right. KPRC2 Investigates broke this story last night on click2houston.com. KPRC2's Rochelle Turner spoke to 2 attorneys about how this issue is going to play out in the courtroom. She's joining us live from downtown Houston. Rochelle.
Anthony, Candace, all day I've been checking our website, click2houston.com. I've been looking at some of the comments and questions from this article that you all posted. Now, I took some of those questions and comments to criminal defense attorneys Rick DeToto and Anthony Osso Jr. Anthony Osso Jr., who are also former prosecutors, and this is what they had to say. What does this mean for some families that are seeking that justice?
Yeah, it's a nightmare for defense lawyers, and it's also a nightmare for the families that are involved in these cases that are seeking justice. It's going to cause delays.
Could this possibly help someone who is accused of a bad crime if we don't necessarily know what all evidence was being correctly processed? Sure,
Rochelle. So that's an interesting question. I don't know whether it will hurt or help. I think as a defendant and as a defense attorney, I want to make sure that whatever evidence comes in against any of my clients follows protocol and procedures, and that there's integrity behind it.
Kind of tell me what a Brady notice is.
So it looks like the allegations are that she may have switched samples. And with the line of work that we have, criminal defense lawyers, in dealing with DNA and samples regarding chemical testing, that's the worst thing that can happen. So in that situation, the prosecutors have an absolute duty to notify the defense lawyers that there is evidence in this case that may tend to show that the person is not guilty or impeachment.
How do you think judges are going to go about with this issue?
Well, I don't think there's going to be a blanket procedure. I think that each judge will independently handle it in their own manner, but I think they recognize there's already a backlog, and so they will likely allow the prosecutors time to remedy the issue, but I think there's going to be a lot of pressure from the judges on them to get it done and get it done quickly.
And I'm also working to find out more on the impact this is having on families who've been waiting for justice in their loved one's case. Now, while we don't know exactly what type of cases are being impacted, as a reporter, it is my job to keep you all informed and find solutions to your problems. So if you or someone you know is being impacted by this issue, I would love to share your story and maybe help you get some answers. You can send me an email to rturner@kprc.com. Again, you can send me an email. That's rturner@kprc.com.
So there's a ton of things that we have to get to, right? And there's going to be you're going to end up picking a side. And for the most part, this channel over here, as far as the comments go, it's 90% of the people, right, that say that we want justice to take off, that Patrick Xavier Clark is the one who did it, because when you like the police, you'll agree with the police. When you don't like the police, you won't agree with the police. But here's the truth of the matter, right? There were multiple shooters that night, according to the police. There was Lil Cam. They said Lil Cam has something to do with something, all this shit and everything. So don't be surprised if you see Lil Cam walk through those doors. Also, remember, a month after this shit happened with Takeoff. Patrick Clark had an expedited passport to go to Mako. Just gonna be honest with you. That's highly suspicious. Then the evidence for real is the wine bottle of where he was standing and that they have quote unquote HD cameras that's peering and looking and seeing that it's Patrick Clark. So the angle that I believe that they could argue here is one, it's multiple shooters. So we want to make sure that these bullets are the ones, and you're going to make sure to actually test for this shit because, hold on, what the hell? Sorry, I don't know what happened with the phone there. If it messed up, my bad. You're arguing that if you're the defense that y'all already done had Brady violations. Y'all are 400, yes, 400 cases possibly could be tainted by this lady who didn't know how to do her damn job, and that's the reason that you guys fired her. Don't be surprised if you see that in the opening statement for the defense. Just don't. But also, we're going science versus the cameras. The cameras actually could be low quality. But the biggest thing, self-defense. We're looking at some form of self-defense from what Patrick Clark is trying to say. And if that's the case, then somebody else is going to have to be charged. One of the rumors, one of the stories, one of the things that we were hearing was that, hey, man, this was the dudes that was with Quavo and goddamn Takeoff where he walked up and he hit somebody because Lil Kim was walking up to put boop bop on Quavo. And so as dude was walking up, boom, he hit him. I think it was like Migos bands or whatever the hell. So there's that part. So that was a retaliatory strike because they said he hit him with the blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Not only is there that, we don't trust the evidence. We don't. Fed State. Y'all messed up. Y'all medical examiner. Y'all forensic data analyst person. They messed this shit up. So if I was somebody who was Patrick Xavier Clark's friend, I would be going, Nash, keep it fair, square, obvious, and honest. Don't do that bullshit. I would go, yeah, you're right. But I also would go, you got a lot of shit against you because the Houston PD could 100% go, we investigated it, and this is a clear thing of self-defense, and we go to the person who absolutely should be arrested. And I would give you a case in point with the one rapper, was it Z the Wizard out of Dallas? His people the one that killed him. Like, in the middle of a shooting, Z the Wizard's own people were the one that knocked him down, unfortunately. His people started shooting first, bang, 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 bang. The dude started returning fire, but from the way in which he fell and where the bullet had came from, because remember, the entrance hole is smaller than the exit hole. Just is what it is. Some of y'all go, nah, that's not true. It is. Go look at all the damn, the damn cartoon character movies give it the best way. What is it? Rupert Thorne or Thong? Yeah, Rupert Thong with the reverse flash and the flash. When he shot that gun and hit him right here and it got bigger at the back. Yeah, man. To me, I think there's something to it because the attorney who spoke on it, his ass was the one that was in that doggone room talking to the cameras, talking to the reporters. He used to be a former mother flipping prosecutor. So I'm curious, what does he actually know against what he actually proves? Now, I don't see the court allowing certain shit, like transportation of it from their people, unless he's done business with them before. Maybe the courts say, and it's a 50-50, maybe the courts say, no, we'll use our person to deliver it to you, and then they can do that, and then get them credentialed and all these things and all this shit. Because sometimes, man, you're supposed to make that case. The defense should have said, he's worked with y'all before, and, here's the institution, and y'all have worked with these people before. You had to be willing to say, hey, If it was good enough for y'all in the past, why ain't it good enough for y'all now? If it didn't take anything in the past, why not that? And the basic argument would go city contracts. These people are paid by the county, so there's that part. But we shall see, man. Justice for Takeoff. I know. Y'all like, God damn, Nash, man. How long is it going to take? It's going to take as long as it's going to take. This is a murder trial, man. Unfortunately, these are the things that come with it. But y'all pray for Takeoff's family, man. Shout out. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. But until then, click right here to see how Big U stumped out Future. What? Yeah. Click right here to find out about that, and click right here for the playlist, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all come on back now, you hear?